Neil Abercrombie's newly appointed coordinator of homelessness says there's no quick fix to the state's persistent homeless problem. At a press conference today, state lawmakers heard from homeless advocates on what can be done to change the homeless situation in urban Honolulu as well as across the state. KITV4's Shayne ENRIGHT is live in KAKAAKO, where the homeless population has grown substantially. Shayne, what came from today's discussions?
Well, good evening, Paula. There's been a lot of talk about long-term assistance, but that doesn't help the people out here who are told they have to leave. More and more homeless people are setting up tents on the sidewalks and in the park around the UH Medical School in KAKAAKO. According to the state, in 2010, nearly 2,300 homeless lived on Hawaii's streets, with roughly 1,400 scattered around Oahu, and more than 3,500 homeless lived in temporary shelters.
But only 1 year.
Rick Myers says he moves from park to park, picking up part-time work where he can.
It's not necessarily getting worse or better, it's just moving around. Things seem to be rotating, people seem to be going from place to place.
Long-term vision.
At the state capitol today, the governor's coordinator of homelessness addressed a room of state lawmakers and homeless advocates. Mark Alexander says although there is an urgency for relief, reform, and recovery, there is no immediate cure to the homeless epidemic.
And the idea is that we need to look at some short-term solutions or tactics to help address homelessness, but we must look at the long-term and intermediate range.
Alexander says the issue no longer affects just the homeless, but impacts the communities where homelessness is widespread. The state's administrator on homeless programs says permanent housing will save money over the long term and keep chronic homeless from ending back on the sidewalk.
If we spend our resources on short-term housing, we're going to be just putting off the inevitable, and that's coming up with the resources for affordable housing.
As for these families, they say the state notified them they need to move out of here by March 15th, but I asked them where will they go, and most of them say they just don't know. Reporting live from KAKAAKO, Shayne ENRIGHT, KITV4 News.